That's interesting is that when Democrats get caught saying racist things, an apology is enough. If that had been Mitch McConnell saying that about an African-American candidate for president of the United States, trust me, this chairman and the DNC would be screaming for its head, very much as they were with Trent Lott. And the reality of it is racism and racist conversations have no place today in America.
All right. Well, it's an interesting question. Is it really racist what Harry Reid said? I'm not trying to defend them, but, they're just attacked because it looks like an opening. Wouldn't make me, a more honest man. It would make me, just jumping in on a pile-on thing here. The fact of the matter is, I don't know what to make of it. I think you have to be a black person yourself to understand how you feel about it. But the fact of the matter is, this comment where he says that Obama is light-skinned and that he carries the advantage of having no Negro dialect unless he wanted to have one, is really not that different from remarks that Obama himself made during the rise to the White House. Because the fact of the matter is, it was only 2 years ago that Obama was struggling to persuade some African Americans that he was black enough. And his electoral prospects did not actually rise very quickly among Democrats in the South Carolina primary, where black voters are critical, until he won the Iowa caucuses, where the vast share of voters were white. And so the reason he became president is primarily because whites were not, let us say whites were attracted to him. And the reason they were attracted to him was really not about race. It was about the fact that Bush was such an abominable failure, and so was the Republican Party. Let's not defend the indefensible here. Of course, I warned you what he was before he was elected. I warned you that he was not a mainstream Democrat. I warned you he was a far leftist. I tried to warn you of all of that, but you didn't listen to me. And even Democrats are coming to regret it. I call it voter remorse. And if you look at the actual candidate himself, when he spoke to black audiences in some cases, Obama's consonants tended to linger a bit. He spoke with a different staccato and rhythm in churches that he didn't use when addressing white audiences in Iowa and New Hampshire. But this is not unique to Obama. Other politicians are chameleons as well. In fact, the same is true of Bill and Hillary Clinton. When they need Southern accents, they use them, for example. And in fact, I have to play it again. Listen to the entire Hillary Clinton piece from years ago.
Always tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
I rest my case. So politicians, you have to read Machiavelli, the politician, to understand that they're all the same. You change your tune according to the audience, and you say one thing to one group and another thing to another group, and then you win the job, and the next thing you do is you screw everybody, and you're out for yourself. By and large, that's true. Is that the human condition? Probably. It very closely approximates most of us in many ways. That's the sad truth. No one is perfect. No one is a saint. It's just that the level of deceit on the national level has never been higher. And I in my lifetime, and the level of incompetence, naked incompetence. You don't have to look any further than the two strikes in the national security arena under the Obama appointees. There's another story I just linked up on michaelsavage.com, for example, about the education secretary who's never taught in a classroom. You hear this one? Obama has picked a man to be education secretary who has never taught in a classroom. How in the world can you be an education secretary never having taught? How is that possible? Another political hack. What is he doing, What is he doing picking a guy like this who has never taught in a classroom to be a Secretary of Education? I guess it's the same as the Secretary of Defense, who may never have been in the military, I suppose. That's what we're getting used to now. Let's pick another one, Department of the Interior. Or take Janet Napolitano, the head of the Homeland Security, was never in security. She was a mediocre, actually a rotten governor, who left the gates to Mexico wide open, did not support the U.S. Border Patrol, so she was rewarded for all of that by being made Department of Homeland Security, and she says there is no terrorism as near as 6 months ago. The only things we have to face are earthquakes and tornadoes and global warming. So how different is that than the Democrats under Obama picking somebody who who were never taught in a classroom to be a Secretary of Education, is picking somebody who knows nothing about national security to head up the DHS. Or go down the list. Go down the list. That's all. Here's another one. Al-Qaeda veterans flooding into Yemen. Jihadis from around the Arab world are hiding in the lawless hills of Shaba province where the so-called underwear bombers thought to have been trained. Hey, there's a solution to that. You know, like when all the ants go for the sugar pile, what you do is you spray the sugar pile with DDT or you poison the sugar. Hello, that's what bunker buster bombs are for. Take down the entire mountain range. Use the damn ships, for God's sake. Launch them already.
Savage.